Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is the first tutorial in the series of tutorials on CSS. In this tutorial, I will be discussing what CSS is, what it's used for, and I will also be mentioning the prerequisites for the course. And then we are going to check out the syntax of CSS style rules through a very simple application. So CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and as you may infer from the expanded form, it is used for styling, and it is used for styling of web pages, right? So CSS is mostly used along with HTML to create fancy websites, and it is hard to imagine a website these days that looks good and doesn't use CSS at all. So for this course, you need to have a basic understanding of HTML and HTML tags. And if you have no idea about what HTML is, then you might want to look up for it a bit on the internet. You could check out W3 School's documentation on HTML. I think that's pretty cool. Or you could watch my playlist of tutorials on HTML. The link for the playlist must be flashing on the screen right now. So a typical style rule in CSS has three components, a selector, a property, and a value. And the selector is the HTML element on which you want the style rule to be applied. The property is a valid property that the element can have, and a value is a valid value for the property, right? So I'm going to make more sense through an example. So this is how you write CSS rules first of all. So you have to type in your selector, and then within curly braces you have to first mention the property and then put a colon and give a space and mention the value that the property needs to have. And you could also, put in a semicolon. So for instance, you want all your H1 level headings in your document to be in red. So you would have to mention H1 as your selector, and the property would be color because that's what you want to change. And then you'll have to put a colon and then type in red, which is a value for that property, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you an application of this syntax through a very basic example. And we're going to discuss the positioning of CSS style rules in the document in a later tutorial. For the time being, let's just explore the syntax and let's just see how the file is rendered in the browser, right? So I've got a very simple file opened up in my text editor Notepad++ here. And in this file, I have a head section, I have a body section. Inside the head section, I have the title tags, and the title for the document is CSS syntax. And then I have the style tags, and I'm going to talk about the style tags later on, in a later tutorial. But it's actually pretty simple. So what you have to do is you have to mention style as your tag, and then give a space and type in type, put an equal to simple, and then within double quotes you have to type in text or CSS. So this is more like a rule. You have to follow it, right? There's no way around it. Earlier you also had to mention few more things, but now it has been simplified, so this is all you have to put in. And here is the rule that we're going to apply, and as I said, you could put a semicolon here. So H1 color red, this is the rule that we're going to apply. And since I haven't mentioned any other HTML element here, it is only going to apply to the headings, right? So inside my body section, I have a paragraph, and within the paragraph, I have the H1 tags, and the text within the tags is what's up, dude. So now let's see how this file appears in the browser. So I'll go to the folder where I've saved this file. It's called CSS_syntax. So I'll double click to open it in my browser, and here's what I see. What's up, dude? And it's flashing in red. Now if suppose I remove this tag, so let me just get rid of this entire style section. Now I'll save the file, and I'll go to my browser again and refresh it. So I see that the color has been changed to the default color, which is black. So this is what CSS can allow you to do. You can play with your HTML elements, you can jazz them up, and you can create a very good looking website from an ordinary website with the help of CSS style rules. And there is really a lot that you can do, and in this course we will be covering CSS2, and the latest version of CSS is CSS3, but we're not going to check out CSS3 because CSS3 builds over CSS2 with a few extra features. So if you want to master CSS3, then it is absolutely essential for you to know CSS2 very well, right? So that's it for this tutorial. I'm going to see you in the next video in which we'll check out more CSS, and you may subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm going to see you in the next video. Till then, take care.